these are the people who I want to appeal to.
Make
Can
little
do
slips. It happens.
You have to have a plan to manage your problems effectively.
How are you going to do it? Fall off the horse? Jump right back on.
Cheating. And welcome back. And it's time for, once again, Bruk It Down with Miss Jenny. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Fine, thank you.
Thank you for being here once again.
Yes.
All right. And
Good morning, Belize.
are you ready for some of our questions for today?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so we're starting off with our first question. And it goes as follows. Jenny, my son is 10 years old. I work, so I'm not at home many days until late evening. My son, only child, I've been told, hangs out for hours with young men who are from the neighboring gang, and they give him weed to smoke. He's been suspended from school for fighting, setting up fights, and other gang-type behavior. I don't play if I beat him and tell him that he had better behave, but nothing seems to be working. I am seriously thinking of how to get him into hostel. What do you think I should do? Wow.
Ooh, she sounds frustrated over the top.
10 years old.
10.
Now, I know you work with children who are exposed to gangs. Are they really being introduced at this age?
From 8.
From 8 years
From
old.
8 years old.
In Belize.
In Belize.
This is from examples that you work with.
Yeah. From 8 years old, they see when they're younger, if they get them very young, then the brain hasn't really formed. It's developmentally, that's a good age. Particularly if you get them using substances early, they will stay addicted longer.
Wow.
Because you're affecting the young brain.
All right, so let's move into our question then. So,
Well,
this mother, and I feel that this is a typical scenario. You know, you work because you have to provide, but then it also takes you away from being
Mother.
a guidance, guiding your children and protecting.
what's scary about this? I don't hear about any father figure in the family. So here you have a 10-year-old pre-teenager who mom is out working, not from any fault of her own, because we have to work,
Yeah.
right? But it would be nice if there was a father or there was a grandmother or somebody that could be providing some supervision for this child. There are no other children, no older siblings. Here is a child that is feeling abandoned. Let's face it, when if there's a father, either a fatherless home or a motherless home, there's a parent that's not there, and I don't care how we want to say it, the child is always going to feel like they're missing out on something. Okay, they're always going to. In her case, she's out working, so there's nobody there for this child. He's going to turn to people who are going to offer him family. Okay, and neighborhood gangs, you know, we see it all the time when they're passing and they're trying to get them to join into the gangs. He feels like big man on campus.
And at that age too, that pre-teen age, it's like it's cool to be with the big kids. Is that part of the attraction?
Well, you know, it's that developmental age, right? That age right there, pre-teen, they are out looking for excitement, for challenge, and they're offering all this. Plus, they're offering family. They're offering family. Now, mom, and then mom beats him. See, so she's compounding the problem.
Well, we know what we feel about corporal punishment.
No, but she's compounding the problem, because a lot of families, a lot of parents, you know, they go to beating because that's the only thing we know.
And she's frustrated.
Right. So we beat, but she says it herself, it's not working. Okay, hostel is not the place. You want to try as little as possible to institutionalize a child. Okay, I firmly believe that hostel is more for your children that are conduct disorders. Children who are over the top and you've tried everything and nothing at all has worked. I mean, absolutely nothing. The next thing that's going to happen is the child is going to go to Wagner's.
So before you go to Wagner's,
you would
go to Hostel.
try with Hostel.
But you wouldn't recommend this mother?
No. This child needs her. So whenever she is off work, she needs to make sure, like during the day, maybe take him lunch to school. Spend as much time as she can when she's off work. Spend time with that child. He needs to have a parent, some parental influence in his life. He needs to know that he's loved. He needs to know that even though she has to go out working, she loves him and that she's there for him as much as possible. And she needs to let him know, I am not at home because I have to work to feed you, to put clothes on your back, all these things that I need to do.
Let me ask you a question, because I don't want to skim over the fact that she beats him, but a child who is hanging out with people they shouldn't and is smoking weed is definitely in need of some kind of discipline, I would imagine. So what should the mother do to teach this child that that behavior is unacceptable?
She has to be engaged in his life in some way. She has to.
But she should just tell him that it's
well, when she takes this time with him, right? She needs to be letting him know why weed is not something that he wants to be using. All the things that it does to his young developing brain. But she has to go and learn that stuff for herself. One of the things I recommend is go to INDAC. Take the child to INDAC. I'm going to put some names out here and they're going to kill me, but these folks who really work well with kids, the guys are community policing. There's a whole different mentality in community policing now, you know. These guys are more helpful. You take the kids there. It's not like the old days when you used to take the kid and they would beat the kid.
Or scold them and threaten them to take them to jail.
What they do, they offer them things like cadet, because they have junior cadet for the little ones. And so it gives them something to go do after school. Mom needs to get him into some positive things.
So find an after-school program.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Help him with he has something to do. If she doesn't have family members, then find something positive for him to do. And community policing, again, like I said, those guys will talk to them. They have homework. They have they have a place there where they can come in and do homework. They have the cadet, the junior cadet. They take them on basketball camps and football camps. They do all kinds of things with them. It's really, really positive. So that's one option that mom has, to go take him there after school, to make sure that he shows up after school there, right? Get him away from these negative influences.
Yeah.
Right, but she also needs to take him to see some of the young folks over at INDAC, to sit with him and explain to him what about
Which is the Drug Abuse Control Council.
Right,
Yeah.
it's on Amara Avenue, and they have some young people there who are really engaging. I think of Errol, and Susanna, those guys. They are really, and Errol is a male, and there's some other fellows there. But Errol is really engaging, and he will sit and explain to the child what the dangers are of using marijuana this young, right?
What is the window of opportunity that she has here? Because this is something I think that a lot of people, if you're not exposed to it, you don't understand. This is the age that children are brought into gangs and then they stay for the rest of their lives.
Yes.
And which is why sometimes they're committing major crimes in the next 5 years, 15, 16, 17. That's what we report on, but they start from 10 and 8. What is her window to get into his head and get him out?
No.
How does she know?
now.
Can it be too late?
I don't think it's too late. The personality isn't fully formed until he's about 12. So she still has time. See, again, beating him is not the answer.
Yeah.
She needs to really and truly sit with this child and let the child know, babe, I don't like the behavior. I love you, but I don't like the behavior. We need to do something about it. So I want you to talk to some people.
Yeah.
And these guys are trained to be able to talk with this child, right? But if you take something away, we're taking away the neighborhood gang folks. You need to put something else in that space that's not going to be a void.
Yeah.
So let him go join some of these positive organizations. Okay.
All right. So that's the advice from mom and her 10-year-old son.
But mommy, please, hostel is like your last resort. It's really not a good idea to institutionalize a child.
Okay. Now I'm going to move to question 3. at this point, because then we'll take a break from parenting and go back, right?
Okay.
So this one is about marriage, and this one, we said we'd talk about it this time, and it's here. I have been happily married for the last 12 years. Last week, I forgot to close out my Facebook page, and my wife found conversations I've been having with a Facebook friend for the last 2 years. Although I have assured her that the young lady and I have never met, she's upset because according to her, I am cheating. Jenny, the young lady tells me how much she loves me. I've never encouraged her or told her that I feel that way. I believe that my wife, is being unreasonable. Can you address this issue, please? Because I do not believe that talking with someone is cheating.
Oh.
Do you want me to jump in with my personal opinion here?
Jump in.
Yes, it is. I always tell people, it's very simple. As long as you are okay with me doing it too, then fine.
Yeah.
And most often, they're not.
They're not.
Yeah.
And for 2 years, that's a relationship. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. If this girl's telling him she loves him, he's been encouraging this. Now, if you have to talk to somebody else, why aren't you talking these same things with your wife?
Here's what I find.
You know?
People jump in, and I could laugh because my producer's done a very hilarious video about this very same issue, about how easily it is that you just jump online. And Facebook does this, you present the best version of yourself, how you look the best in a particular moment, some of your best experiences, vacation, nights out, and you can selectively choose the thoughts and the frame of mind that you're in. So you really, it's not reality, it's
a
selective reality.
In time, yes.
Yeah. So I put forward my best pitch as a single woman or even in a relationship. And as a married person, I have all these things to feast on, all these persons to feast on. And, they get online, they get to work, they open a chat box, and it could be continuous chatting all day long. Now, the issue, I guess, I've had this conversation in so many different circles, and men and women see it very differently. Isn't it considered emotional cheating? Emotional
It's an emotional relationship. Yes, it is. And see, the thing is, if you are engaging in that, what's going to happen when you meet this person? Because you're leading that person on. Let's face it. You're leading them on. She's telling you at this point she loves you. You haven't said you loved her. But you're continuing to have this relationship for 2 years, and it's a relationship. Be it all, it's a cyber relationship.
Platonic at this point, yeah.
Right? But the point is, you have a wife here who is with you that you need to be engaging with these conversations and having this kind of talks with. Because it sounds to me she's found conversations for 2 years. Good Lord. All right? I don't understand how men believe that this isn't cheating.
Well, I should say it's not just men. Women do it as well. Persons do it as well in relationships, committed and married. Now, if the partner doesn't believe that this is cheating, what do you tell him? You're saying flat out it's cheating, but he's saying it's no big deal.
No, it's platonic. We're just friends.
Yeah, I'm just helping her through some stuff. She has a bad day, and I make her feel better.
Folks just don't get it. They don't, because the person is in front of them. It's also, in real life. Guys will have people, somebody at work that they bring lunch for, and they do all these nice things for, right? And they say, I'm not cheating. But they're doing this, and they go to lunches together, and after lunch they might go have drinks together. I'm not cheating. This is my friend. I'm just spending time with her because she's having a hard time or whatever. Well, I don't know what you call that if you're getting that intimate to the point where the person is in love with you. and they're telling you they love you.
So where do you draw the lines between what is a friendship with a person of the opposite sex? I mean, there's no hard and fast rules when it comes to this.
Right.
So where do you say it's just a friend? And where do you say, and I think people oftentimes use the physical boundaries. It's like, you're just a friend if we've never had any kind of physical contact.
But if this person is telling you all of their innermost feelings, not just talking about problems that I'm having, but I'm sharing with you, and I'm beginning to tell you I love you, I'm in love with you, right? Hey, it's time for you to start looking at your boundaries. Because at some point, you're going to act on that. At some point, you're going to act on that. I'm sorry. What are the boundaries in the relationship, in your marital or your relationship that you're having, maybe living with someone, or this is your boyfriend, or this is my girlfriend, right? What are the boundaries in that relationship? You see, again, we go back to communication. When you're getting involved with someone, it's so important to talk about what are the boundaries of the relationship. What are the boundaries?
So maybe if wife had well, 12 years ago, Facebook wasn't around, so,
Right.
you know, it's...
But now she's found it, don't be angry with him. Say, listen, let's have this chat. What, she's at the point where she's saying she loves you, and you're continuing to engage with her in conversation on Facebook. Can we sit down and have a talk about what are the boundaries of our relationship? Can I do the same thing? Can I have a Facebook friend? Can I start telling my Facebook friend, or can I get intimate with my Facebook friend? Tell them about problems you and I are having.
So
Discuss our relationship.
Use the word intimate, and again, people only classify that as something physical. But you're saying once you get into the realm of deep emotions, that is intimacy.
When your emotions become engaged, we are talking about very intimate conversations. You know, we're sharing things that we don't share with other people. You really are. You're beginning to tread in deep water. You're getting into deep water.
You're building an emotional...
Yes, you have an emotional connection that eventually will lead to problems. Because sometimes you begin to become disillusioned with the person you're with. Because this, like you said, this person that is built up over here on Facebook, and we can see this beautiful picture, and this person says all the right things. Shucks, if I'm talking
and you only see the photo of the best moment at the
yes.
time.
and I can share with you all kinds of things because I'm not in front of you. You don't get to see who the real person is. You have a real person here.
While on the other hand, wifey is doing dishes and cleaning and cooking or taking care of the kids. Probably looks a bit like a mess.
I might be moody because she's tired or whatever. So you are now you're treading. I think that all women and men in relationships, when you get into a relationship, you've got to have talks about what are the parameters of our relationship. What are the boundaries of the relationship?
Yeah.
Are you how will we handle Facebook, or how will we handle social media? Are you going to be talking to other men, talking to other women? And if you are going to be doing that, can I do the same? Am I able to do the same? Can I put my most beautiful picture out there and look for friends and start chatting with other people?
Yeah. Now, he doesn't seem to buy into the fact that this is cheating. Most
men don't, though.
No, but I mean, how do you get him to that realization? If let's give this scenario. Obviously, the wife is upset. He feels she's being unreasonable, and from most of the conversations I've had regarding Facebook with men, they do not, almost refuse to believe that conversations are cheating. So what does the wife do? Let's try to see how you get there.
Let me just throw something out here. Do you remember President Clinton? A lot of men do not believe having oral sex is having sex.
But he did say he did not
I've
have
never
sexual
had
relations.
sex with
You have
that
to say it
woman.
with the accent.
I have never had sexual relations with that woman. They don't see it as having sex. Men do not see having conversations on Facebook with other girls or other women as cheating, because for them their boundaries are way out here. Which is why if you're in a relationship, in fact this is something you do before you get married, before you move in. Unfortunately we don't do these things. We don't date and get to know the person and talk about what are some of the things that bother me and what would bother you. And I'm not talking about jealousy, I'm talking about fidelity and not setting yourself up for getting into a relationship and hurting the person that you're with. So, how do we deal with this, right?
Yeah, because like I love having this conversation. Most of my friends here will know that we have this argument more so. Because I think different people have different limits. I could be okay because I realize there's some women who have their own issues to deal with that will reach out to everybody. And I can let that go. But some women will say, well, you don't even answer her or add her as a friend or like her photo, and you know, like it's really down
They're
to
over the top.
Yeah, some people have very hard limits about it, and some people can be more flexible that, you know, you can't control every woman out there, and neither can your husband.
Right. But 2 years.
No, I'm talking in general. I'm talking that,
Okay.
what do you do? I mean, obviously, they have to have their own boundaries defined. So is it coming after the fact to say, okay, this is where we are, and these are now the limits. You must stop, for example.
Well, no, I don't know if you want to do it that way.
I'm asking, yeah. You are not my mother, don't tell me what to do.
Right. It's really important to have the conversation. This hurts me because I'm reading all these things you're saying to this woman that should be saying to me. Why aren't you saying those things to me? Why aren't you talking about these things with me? Right? And are you not setting yourself up to get into an actual physical relationship if you're talking to somebody for 2 years and this is growing? It's growing into more than just a friendship online. So she really has to have that conversation with him in a loving way, but have the conversation with him. Now, we have some over-the-top jealousy that goes on, right? Where people are upset if you're not, you know, if you shouldn't be talking to anybody but me. And why do you need to have Facebook? And why do you need to be talking to these people? And I want your Facebook password so that I can see who you're talking to. That's over the top. That's.
Why are you in a picture with somebody else in the background?
Right. You know, we have the people out there who are going to go over the top.
Yeah.
That, again, you're not the person's mother. You don't own people, right? So it comes right back to let's sit down and have to talk about social media.
Yeah.
Because that is a part of our daily lives now. It really is. So
or technology in general, because it could be text, it could be WhatsApp, it could be Viber, it could be video calls, it could be anything. Yeah.
Social media.
Yeah.
So it's really important to have that conversation if you're in a committed relationship. And I'm not talking about just, you know, somebody who is sort of looking out there for someone to meet or someone to get into a relationship with, because that's how most people are meeting now.
Yeah.
But if you are in a committed relationship, you're my boyfriend, you're the person that I'm engaged to, planning to get married, or we're married.
Or we're married, yeah.
We need to sit down and talk about how we're going to handle social media. These are the kinds of things.
What if you can't get on the same page?
Then why are you still in the relationship?
Because I'm telling you, men and women have very different views about
I know, but that is why you
Facebook
have
thing.
to talk. You have to talk. Because men, I'm telling you, men, even like going out and meeting other people, their eyes are going to wander.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they're going to be acting on it.
I think we should all be able to acknowledge when there is a good-looking person around, men and women alike, and we will, whether our spouse is around or not.
You're gonna shop. You're going to window shop, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But if it's going on for 2 years with the same person, that's something else.
Okay.
If it's going on for 6 months with the same person, and I am supposed to be the person in your committed relationship, we need to have that talk. I keep stressing the importance
And what
of
if he
us
continues?
talking. why are you still in that relationship?
Yes.
Because that's disrespecting you. And again, I would point out to him, can I do the same thing? Can I put my best picture out there and spend my days when I'm done taking care of the baby, chat with other people out there online? Is that okay?
All right, so
And
there
see
you
what
have it.
see what he thinks about that. It's a tough one because men have a totally different belief system about what is cheating and what is
intimacy as well? Yeah.
And see, we have such an issue with intimacy here.
Yeah.
We do.
And actually across the world, Facebook is now becoming, or social media is really becoming, one of the reasons leading to divorce.
Oh, honey,
and
yes.
this very same scenario is often painted as the reason why a conversation started online, and then it started to meet in person, and then it came into affair. Or sometimes it's just been strictly online conversation. So more and more social media is contributing towards the divorce rate. And so it is, I guess your advice at this point is, even if this isn't happening to you right now, maybe collectively people who are in a committed relationship or marriage stop and say, all right, let's talk about
this. Yeah, we have to have the conversation.
Yeah.
We need to have it.
Okay.
Sooner or later, if she hadn't found this, I'm pretty sure they would have met. And then what? You have an emotional connection. You've been doing this for 2 years.
That wife must be devastated. But he says he's happily married in the beginning too.
But men always believe that they're happily married. They're having their cake and eat it too. You know? And I know some guy's going to call me and say, girl, you're being...
Oh, they're going to argue. They're going to meet you in the street. I'm telling you, I love having this conversation. It really gets people riled up. And people really have different perspectives. And I find some women are more open than others. And I find women are as guilty as men. So I don't want to typecast, because women are as guilty.
I know.
Yeah. Because that'll be the first thing the guys will tell me when we come up. Oh, women do it too. All right, we'll move to our third question. And the third question is, I have a 14-year-old son. He's been living with my mother for several years, and his younger sisters live with me. He was expelled from primary school last year, but I was able to get him into another primary school. He's constantly in the principal's office for fighting, refuses to do his homework, gives problems in class, and now is regularly truant from school. His dad, who's not really been present in his life, now says he wants nothing at all to do with him. Says he's a loser, and I have to focus on the girls. I need advice because I really don't know what to do.
Wow.
Poor boy.
Yeah, several things going on here. He's 14. He's right in the middle of adolescence. And you know all the problems that come with adolescence. There's, and I don't want to call it problems.
It's a
transition period.
Yeah. It's a very confusing time.
Yes, it's confusing for them.
And annoying.
Yes. and they're at that age where they're trying to find themselves, and they're in between being children and being adults, and we want them to act like children but behave like adults.
But suddenly become an adult.
Yeah.
It's usually when that old time saying coming around, when they start acting too big for their britches. Or you start smell yourself.
That's what smell yourself. So this poor child is right at that age. But then let's look at something else. She says he's been living with her mother, and she has the girls. I don't hear he didn't go live with his father. He went to live with grandma. Now, while grannies are generally very loving, they're tired. And a 14-year-old with a grandmother is going to be at odds. It's going to be at odds, right? This child, I can only imagine what he feels like, that the girls get to live with mama, he gets to stay over with the grandmother.
Yeah, she doesn't say why. That was really the first thing that struck me.
It sticks right out
it's
at
like,
you.
Why is he with your mom and not with you?
Right.
He's your child.
Right. So this child has been abandoned.
That she's not raising children. She has the girls.
She's raising the girls. So this child has been abandoned by mom and dad. He's been abandoned. And at 14 years old, can you imagine what that must feel like?
He probably thinks nobody loves him.
Nobody loves me. So Gonna think I'm bad? Fine. I won't be bad. Right? So he goes, he gets expelled from primary school. She puts him in another primary school, but he's working on being expelled from that school also. And see, children get labeled. They get labeled in school, and then they can't live that down. So even if he's not doing stuff, he's going to get blamed for it. Right? So he's in a no man's land right now.
So what do they do? And now Dad says
officially
abandoned.
I don't want any part of it.
Yeah.
Focus on the girls. Right? Oh my goodness.
Where do you
poor
start?
child. First of all, she has to get involved in this child's life, and she needs to talk to Dad about getting engaged in his life.
Yeah.
It's not that we can't throw him away. You cannot throw him away because there are people out there who are waiting to grab him. And at 14, he is at the impressionable age. He can be sent out to do all kinds of things. So it's really important that mom becomes engaged with this child. I don't know what her reasons are for having just the girls, but she needs to become engaged with that child and become engaged now. Right now. And it's not about, and really and truly, she needs to give him some quality time, because she's given the girls years of quality time, it sounds like. So she needs to get with this child, give him lots of quality time, spend time with him, love him, hug him. At 14, they don't want you hugging them, but he hasn't been getting that. So she needs to be able to sit with him alone, go do things with him, have meals together as a family. She needs to bring him into the family. I don't know what the reasons are why she sent him to her mom. You know, sometimes as mothers, we
Or sometimes it's because you don't want grandma to be living alone.
But this child doesn't understand that.
I know, I'm just saying that's sometimes one of the reasons.
Or I have girls, I don't want my boy child living
yeah.
with these girls, right? But this is your 14-year-old that you're going to lose. You are going to lose this child. So she has got to engage this child. She's also got to go to school, and I mean, she needs to be going to school, this new school, working with him at home, finding out why he's misbehaving at school. Part of it, I'm thinking he's rebelling against being left out there with grandma. Okay, I believe that's a big part of what's going on. But he's acting out in school, and so he has a reputation already. And so he's going to get blamed for things, whether he does it or not. So she's got to go engage at the school, be checking on him as regularly as possible. But she's got to bring him into the family. And she's got to talk to Dad, because Dad can't call his 14-year-old a loser. Right? She has got to...
And this is terrible, but I would imagine that perhaps she can focus on her own actions, because you can't change other people, and Dad just seems that he's copping out.
But she needs to talk with him.
Yeah. At least try.
She has to talk with him and say, look, can we work together in helping this child? Because part of it, he hasn't had you in his life. And really, I have not been in his life either, because I've been focusing on the girls. But I can't continue to only focus on the girls. I've got to engage my entire family. Or she's going to lose this child. He's at that age. He is at that age. And the acting out, if he's fighting, refusing to do homework, giving problems in classes, there's another issue. We don't know if he knows how to read and write. Maybe he's giving problems because he doesn't know the material that's going on in classes. He might be behind. Yeah. And teachers are not focusing on him because he's acting out, so they focus on the rest of the class.
No, I shouldn't say in general, but in some situations, teachers typecast children, and then they don't focus on them. So, and that was one of the things I wanted to get at, because you said it before. He has most likely, given what we know about school situations, been typecasted, and it's usually very difficult for children to be able to be integrated into a school. It seems like he's in one now. They say he's truant. But to be able to also reshape the attitude that he will face there, or the perceptions that he will face there as the bad boy from the class.
Not only that, see, all behavior has purpose. All behavior has purpose. All right. So this kid is acting out for a reason. There's a reason. It's important that she find out what that is, or she needs to make sure that she gets him, go meet with a school counselor, or get this child someplace where if he doesn't want to talk to her, because he's probably really angry with her. and angry at his dad. It's hard for a 14-year-old to live with an elderly grandmother. I'm sorry.
But, and especially knowing that the mother is caring for other children,
The
siblings.
girls. So he's probably thinking she doesn't love me, she doesn't care about me, she only loves the girls. There's a lot of things going on here. And she also needs to find out what is happening at school. Maybe he's being bullied. So he's finding out he's got to fight his way for everything. We don't know. She's the only person that can find out, so she needs to go. She first has to engage this child, bring him home, sit down and start talking with him, build a relationship with him so she can find out what's happening at school. Go to school, meet with the teachers, pay attention so they see her coming all the time, right? Engage with this child and everybody around him that is supposed to be providing support to him.
All right. Well, we really do wish her the best of luck with that, because that is a challenging situation.
That's a challenging situation.
And my first reaction in hearing it is, poor boy.
Yeah.
Because he must be so hurt.
Yeah, of course. And I'll tell you, the alternative is horrible. Because if she doesn't engage him now at 14, she's going to lose him. She's going to lose him.
All right. Well, those were some interesting questions for today. And I want to thank you for sharing this information with us. And yeah, until the next 2 weeks, remember you can submit your questions. Send us a message on Facebook, drop a letter here at Channel 5 on Coney Drive, send us an email at oye@channel5belize.com, call and ask to talk to the producer, whichever way you want to do it. As creative as you want to be, you can be able to submit those questions as well. But thank you once again, Jenny.
Yes, ma'am.
It has been great, and I think some great food for thought for today. All right?
Yes.
All right, I'll just go ahead and wrap up the show at this point because we're completely out of time. So, we have a break, actually. So we're going to go ahead and take a break, and we'll be back in a few.
These are the people who I want to appeal to. Make those little slips. It happens. You have to have a plan to manage your problems effectively. How are you going to do it? Fall off the horse? Jump right back on.